Welcome once again to Chatting with Nurgleprobe, or Nurgle, or Chat with Nurgle, or whatever you prefer to call it. And as some of you might know, I come from Marathon Gaming, a 24/7 stream on Twitch, and that stream is down below. So I'm currently doing this live on the stream to chat with everyone, to chat with the chat, to chat with you, to just update and discuss different subjects and stuff. And like always, when I do this, people are waiting for League of Legends game in the background, so they are kind of, stressed. But that's fine. I don't care. I care a little bit, but not that much. So today, we're going to talk about something very fun and interesting. And that is because of Crony yesterday. Because of yesterday's Snorkel Chat, where I talked about fake geek girls, and I mentioned that we all wanted the community to grow. And he was fast to say that no, he don't want the community to grow. He doesn't want the gaming community to grow because he doesn't want more casual players. And well, one reason was that he isn't a very social person. That is not really a proper reason, I think. But so yeah, it was about casual players. He didn't want more of them because he felt like they were ruining the gaming industry, I guess. That games aren't really as good as it anymore, and they put less effort into making games. So, I could not disagree more, I guess. And I'm just gonna do this so I can see the chat while doing this properly. There we go. So that's what we're discussing today, guys. Are games actually worse today? Are they more lazy when it comes to creating games? And are there too many casual gamers? Is gaming all about casual shit these days? Yes. Moogle, instantly. And Snowy, yes, instantly. Well, let's just see what the chat has to say here, real quick. Every hardcore game turned casual. Which games do you talk about then when you say every hardcore game? Call of Duty has never been a hardcore game though. I mean, even the first ones were quite easy. But is the new XCOM actually worse than the old XCOM? I don't think that's true. I think the new XCOM is awesome as well. They've just changed it up completely. I mean, it's a new game. If they named it something different, we would still think it was awesome. It's just as hard, yeah. Team Fortress 2. Well, that's a good example of a well-produced game. Then we're talking Valve, of course. That's Valve, right? I believe. It's kind of hard to discuss that because that was a, sold game that they turned free eventually. But yeah, it's a casual game, I guess. Anyway, the whole point was that people, yesterday at least, we talked a lot about, games being better back then, and today they're lazy with making games. And I mean, have you even... And I'm thinking back to when I was younger and the games I played. Did you play games back then? Seriously. Because they weren't all great. They weren't all awesome stories. They weren't all deep. They weren't all good level design. There was a lot of bad games back then. The problem with today is that we have less of those games because there are less companies making games. There's a bigger production. I mean, if you want to reach out today, you actually have to be quite big within the industry, or make indie games, which is, quite different. It's even hard to get onto Steam these days, as far as I know. I haven't tried, obviously. I don't have a game to put out there, but I've heard from other people, trying to do it, and you need to make a good production, and it's hard to get out there. Mario 64. I mean, I don't think they're afraid. I just think they want to earn money, to be honest. It's an industry where you need to make money to keep going. It's not worth it otherwise. Of course. AKA afraid. Well, yeah, afraid of not existing anymore. And obviously, the bar of making games have gone overboard. What do you mean by that, Mughal? Because I think it's an interesting subject. And a lot of, everyone has a different opinion on it as well, so it's fun to discuss, I guess. But to complain on games today that they're not hardcore, I even had, not a discussion really, but I talked to someone, or I tweeted someone that said that games back then were much harder, and gamers today are kind of spoiled by the easiness of games, or how easy the games are and how many checkpoints you have and stuff like that. And I'm not sure that's true either. Why would those games that were harder back then be better than the games that are released and easy today? Is it really about being easy or hard? Is it not about being entertained? I mean, indie games are very popular these days because they do something different, yes. They do something different and do it in a way that big, game production... Bigger game companies usually don't do a lot of smaller games and save file every 5 steps. Well, is that wrong though? That's my big question in that argument. Is something wrong with having checkpoints every now and then? If it's a story-driven game or a game where you just want to have fun, does it matter that you have checkpoints? I mean, yeah, Mughal, I agree. Some games it feels like they're holding your hand, and it might be too easy with some games. But as long as I enjoy the game, I don't mind it that much, to be honest. Oh, was that? No, it wasn't, was it? Was that the video with blah blah? What's his name? Oh, why did I forget that now? I forgot his name. Yeah, Final Fantasy 13 was horrible. But that was, yeah, I don't know what they did with that. I'm not saying that every new game is good, of course. I'm not saying that every big production is amazing. I'm just saying that bigger productions are not worse just because the games are easier or and so on and so on. Big companies stand behind the games doesn't mean that games are worse either. I mean, some of the most popular games are big companies. Which, is it Bandai that... No, that's... Who made Dark Souls? Havoc. Yeah. And Bandai just are the guys that released it here, I believe. Yeah, AAA games cost a lot to make, yeah. What do you... How... What? Waffle, I think you need to reconsider that, actually. What makes a game good, then, if it's not proven by its popularity? I had this discussion with Frass once, actually. And we discussed which game is better between these and these. And one argument was that one actually had millions of more players and one had millions less players. Does that mean that the game that had less players is better? In what way? We could discuss game mechanics. We could discuss, the story within the game and so on. But isn't the popularity actually showing that it's a good game? Yes, there are many good games that never become popular. That's true too. I think CODs are COD games are fine games. And the big popularity in them is because of the multiplayer, not because of the single player. The single player doesn't matter in that game. It's for the multiplayer. Actually, COD is the best fast-paced shooter out there right now. If you want to have a war game. Not like Quake and stuff, because Quake. I don't like that kind of FPS game. A lot of people do, I know that, where the panic is. Yeah, but the games aren't for single player. I wouldn't say the single player are jokes either. But they are fine in COD. It's just short. But, you know, if they focus on multiplayer, that's fine. Well, best fast-paced FPS. And okay. Right, Moogle. Anyway, I actually believe that it's one of the better fast-paced FPS games. If not the best right now of the newer ones. I don't count Battlefield to the fast ones, because Battlefield is kind of slow and big and sluggish. It's a great game though. I actually prefer that over COD, but COD is better if you want to have a fast-paced game. So yeah, be hating on me if you want. It's fine. So, when you think back about the old games that were good in the past, that were good level design, good story, which games do you think of? Moogle, you always hate on me, so it's fine. Well, Rockman is Mega Man pretty much, isn't it? Final Fantasy VI. Yeah, the old Final Fantasy games were fun. Icewind Dale. Final Fantasy 1. Alright. I didn't know that, actually. I only have Mega Man or Rockman 4. Baldur's Gate. So aren't most of the games you mentioned, aren't they actually from quite big companies? Weren't they even back then quite big? Play Dungeon Keeper with your mom. Well, that's nice, Waffle. Creeping? Am I creeping? Yeah, I'm looking at the chat. Sorry, but not, YouTube will not be entertained, but they will just have to open full screen and watch the chat and enjoy it with me. Oh well, and back then, I mean, we enjoyed the games the bigger companies made. I mean, the bigger of the time. And we still enjoy the bigger of the time games, bigger. Frass, help me out. Write something smart in the chat, Frass. I know you can. I don't really understand the hate on bigger companies and the bigger production games, and saying that they're worse because they're easy. And they're less depth and stuff like that. I mean, there's never been so much focus on story in games than there is today. Even the platform games have a deep story and entertaining stories, usually. It's the grid! Oh no, don't pressure the frass. It's fine. If you come up with something, just type it. Yep. Same for me, Ante. The story is the most important thing. Let's see. What did you say then, Waffle? I saw that old Nesmoto game. And so on. Yeah, story is more important than gameplay and graphics. But then again, then I'm confused because games didn't really have better stories in the past. Overall, games these days have better stories. Well, not necessarily better stories, but bigger stories and more written story. Graphics, most important. Well, then you must be very happy, Moogle, because then the graphics are getting better and better. A big focus is on that, so. True, Sapo, in some cases. Well, I saw graphics, arrow, story, and gameplay, so. Oh, that's a common formula. Oh, okay. Missed the first sentence there. Yeah, a lot of people care about graphics. Then just. I'm not just talking about someone random, I don't know. But I mean, if we forced him to try the old XCOM, and he was like, "Oh, this looks so ugly. Oh, I don't get it. I don't understand. What are these controls?" And actually, I think XCOM has fine controls and everything, but. So yeah, I just want to mention this. I hope that we could get some comments on this on YouTube and whatever. What do you think about, newer games compared to older games? What's better? Why are games today worse or better than the old ones, and vice versa? It's an interesting subject to discuss. And now we really didn't discuss the casual player that much, about casual games being very, very big, like Facebook games, smaller phone games and such. Guys, do you consider Facebook gamers and Android phone gamers gamers? Just a random question. You don't have to answer if you don't want to. They are casuals of casuals. Well, that... yeah, that's kind of the point. Not the Facebook ones, no. So why will we not call those people gamers? I mean gamers as in people as play games. I don't mean the hardcore gamers. I don't mean people that, live in the gaming world. I mean gamers as in people that play games. And why we would not call them gamers. So if you spend like 5 hours every day playing a Facebook game, aren't you a gamer? By the definition I just gave you, gamers meaning, not the lifestyle type of gamer, but or no, not the lifestyle, not our hardcore way of gaming, not that kind of gamer. I mean, as a gamer, as a person that is playing games. By that weird definition, is it really a weird definition? What else would you call them? No, that's masturbation, Seppo. Something completely different. How's that the same, Waffle? That's also an interesting subject, actually, if why we won't call those gamers. If or why they are not considered gamers. I would say some of them are actually some of the most hardcore gamers because they play so much. There are a lot of people out there that call themselves gamers that only play like once a week. But people on Facebook games and Android games play several hours every day and won't call themselves gamers. So I think it's interesting. Hardcore casuals. Well. Then I'm just gonna... oh well, okay. We're gonna leave that subject now, because we won't get anywhere with it, I believe. We'll play some League of Legends now. Anyway, everyone, thanks for watching, chatting with Nurgleprobe. I come from Marathon Gaming, a 24/7 stream, and we've been going on now for 78 days. 78 days of 24/7 streaming, which is amazing. So go to the link, hit the links below, hit follow and everything, and likes and subscribes and whatnot, and support us in any way you can, because we really feel like we need that support right now, in these hard times that are called late winter. Anyway, see you guys. See you tomorrow. Thanks for watching, as always. Bye. Muting the thingy. It's hard.